So what is classical mechanics? Most intro physics courses start here, so let's take a minute to talk about exactly what it is. Mechanics is simply the study of motion. Mechanics is the study of motion. There are lots of different things in the universe that we want to study. We might want to study baseballs, we might want to study apples, cars, bicycles, all these things move and we might want to study them. Planets, I'm certainly interested in planetary motion and the International Space Station, how do we keep that in orbit around the Earth? All those things are examples of classical mechanics. Also, I was particularly interested in what are the smallest things that make up everything? Is electrons, protons, and neutrons enough? Turns out there also are something called quarks, which maybe you already know about. That is getting into the range of quantum mechanics or particle physics. So there are all these different regions, and we usually start with classical mechanics. I'm going to make a grid, which from an idea that I saw first in David Griffith's textbook. So I'm going to put classical mechanics in the upper left of my box, of my grid. When speed increases a lot, so when speed increases and we get the velocity approaching the speed of light, c is a symbol that we use for the speed of light, rather than classical mechanics, we call that relativity. So we need a different theory, whether it's baseballs or planets, or whether it's protons moving near the speed of light in the Large Hadron Collider. And protons actually would be small enough that that's our other axis. As the size gets very, very small, as in subatomic, then the name of the theory that we use to describe that is quantum mechanics. So classical mechanics, when things are macroscopic and moving much slower than the speed of light, so near the speed of light, we need relativity. And classical mechanics, when things are much larger than subatomic particles, so macroscopic objects. Just to fill out the grid, if we happen to be both very small and very fast, and I happen to mention a proton should actually go here, a proton moving near the speed of light should go here. The theory that we need to describe that is called quantum field theory. There are a few undergraduate courses and books that would deal with that, but mostly that's a graduate topic. So mechanics is the study of motion, and classical mechanics is the study of motion for macroscopic objects. Classical mechanics is the study of motion for macroscopic objects. So like apples and baseballs and planets, macroscopic objects moving slower than the speed of light. How much slower is something we'll talk about when we get to relativity. So classical mechanics is the study of motion for macroscopic objects that are moving much slower than the speed of light. That's where we're going to start.